for 90 minutes, says Australia manager Graham Arnold. It's 11 versus 11. It's 10 blue shirts against 10 yellow shirts. It's a battle, and we've got to fight it. Pat Nevin, never a truer word was spoken.
Yeah. Only concern I've got, I went to bed in Doha last night. I woke up in Buenos Aires. This place is mobbed with Argentinians. It is 90% Argentinians, and every one of them are making one extraordinary noise. What an atmosphere. Best I've come across so far in this World Cup by a distance.
Yes, there's a little patch of Australia fans in the lower tier away to our right, and it's almost like a little patch of sunshine is breaking through an enormous sky of blue and white, just through the clouds of Argentina, as Australia get us underway. It's third in the world against 38th in the world. It's the might of Messi against the ambition of Australia. And it's Australia coming forward down the right-hand side early on, playing in the golden shirts, the green shorts and the white socks. Argentina in the blue and white stripes, the black shorts and the black socks. And it's Australia who started brightly, just like that little patch of Australia fans down to our right. And Pat Nevin, the start for Australia. Well, it's not just the start, the whole way that they dictate the energy that they defend with is going to be so key. And that throw on the far side is broken down. Argentina will pick it up and play it back to the edge of their own penalty area. But were Australia to get off to a bad start, which they didn't do when they beat Tunisia, which they didn't do when they beat Denmark, well then.
Yeah, I mean, they've tried to start in the front foot. Very noticeable, Jackson Irvine, he actually started the game against Denmark a little bit deeper, pushed on forward to almost a 10 position. It's ultra positive, really, from the Australians that started this game. Maybe slightly surprising, but, you know, it might pay off, you never know. But I like the action.
Argentina with the throw on this near side on the halfway line, and we can take you through the teams. The big team news for Argentina, as well as Messi making that 1,000th appearance of his career for club and country, is no Angel Di Maria. Now, he was a doubt for this one. He's officially on the team sheet, but he's not warmed up. He's not got his boots on, and as Pat said a little bit earlier, if he does play any part tonight, well, it'll be one of the biggest cons in the World Cup. So, no Di Maria. He is replaced by Alejandro Papu Gomez in their one change, and as Argentina play it around at the back, Australia just try and block it out for the throw. Argentina still have it, sent forward to Alexis McAllister of Brighton, now in field to Rodrigo de Paul. Argentina will pick it up on this right-hand side. So Emi Martinez of Aston Villa in goal. The back four of Molina, Romero of Tottenham, Otamendi, the former Manchester City defender, and Acuna. Ahead of them it's De Paul, Fernandes and Brighton's McAllister, with Gomez, Alvarez of Manchester City, and Lionel Messi up front. Argentina still just inside the Australia half, knocking it around very patiently. So Australia coming back now into this 4-4-2, which we do expect, but it's Jackson Irvine pushing up. So Keanu Bacchus, who is their one change, coming in for Craig Goodwin, has started in central midfield. So your back four, or back five for Australia is as you'd expect. So Ryan in goal, the back four of Degenek, Suter, who's been brilliant this tournament, Rolls and Behic. And then ahead of them, you've got Moy and Bacchus in the centre at the moment. Riley McGree over on this left-hand side. Matthew Leckie, who was their hero against Denmark, on the wide right, and Jackson Irvine pushing right up front alongside Mitchell Duke, and Argentina are still inside their own half.
You know what, I mean, I'm absolutely quite surprised by that. It is 4-4-2, sometimes Jackson Irvine's get back, but he's the player, he's allowed to move forward. There is a problem with 4-4-2, and I'm going to explain to you in one moment. As
Argentina come down the left-hand side, big appeal for a handball right on the edge of the penalty area. Nothing doing from our Polish referee, Szymon Marciniak. And Australia will clear up towards the Argentina penalty area. No golden shirt there to really put the pressure on. And Emi Martinez will play it out from the back.
Generally, the problem with 4-4-2 is it's got space between the lines. The basic lines and no half-position players. We have in this game, wearing blue and white stripes, the best half-position player there is on this planet. He must be looking at it thinking, oh goody, you know, and it's... I'm actually not surprised really, because you know what the Aussies are like, they'll do what suits them and what's right for them. But to go against Argentina with Messi playing, And a direct 4-4-2 is brave. It's really brave. Hey, but you don't win things unless you're brave, do you?
And that's certainly the approach that Graham Arnold often talks up, and then it's what actually happens on the pitch, because defensively their defence has been such a strength of the last 2 games. When they were thumped 4-1 by France, Australia, as they played over the halfway line, I think we all wondered how that would fare, but clean sheets back-to-back for the first time at a World Cup against Tunisia and Denmark has seen them through to this last 16 match as Argentina win a free kick just inside their own half on the edge of the centre circle. And you heard earlier around us the huge noise inside the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium. The Argentina fans, I love it, Pat, they can cheer because they're not happy that their team is still inside their own half, but they can also keep singing and punching their fists in the air as well. The support is there, but also the slight impatience.
Yeah, there's not that many fan groups in the world that it generally keeps on going for 90 minutes. It doesn't actually stop, it changes and it adapts. And the volume goes up, it goes down, and the emotions change as well. It never really stops, does it, with the Argentinian supporters? And well, we'll see if it stops if Australia do surprise us all and score a goal.
So Argentina again, I think the best word for it is patient so far. Happy to knock the ball around inside their own half, and Australia becoming a little encouraged as Jackson Irvine just drifts into the penalty area. Emi Martinez will send it out to the left-hand side, and Irvine will retreat as Argentina work it out to the left-hand side. Behic is there under pressure. The Australia right back, in fact, Degenek over on that far side, just clears the ball out of play for an Argentina throw.
Do you know, we've seen Messi in person? I'm fortunate to see him quite a few times over the years, and his game's changed a lot. He walks more than any other player you will ever see. He just walks and his head swivels and he looks and he's looking for space. He's just looking to where the opposition are, how the game's developing. He's incredible, because any other player would do that and you'd shout and ball him to get moving and help the team. But he just looks for the angles and looks for the space. And at the moment, he's not finding much, but he will at some point.
0-0, 6.5 minutes gone. And a reminder that you can watch this match via the BBC iPlayer with our commentary. Just search for World Cup Extra as Argentina win a free kick just inside the Australia half, and they're asking the question as to whether that should be a little bit more than just the set piece for the foul on Lionel Messi by Bacchus. Coming together, perhaps, Pat?
Well, he knew what he was doing. he made the tackle with his left foot, but his shoulder followed through to make sure that Messi knew he was here. I think he was looking through Messi's shot there. They were hearing about that earlier.
Yeah, don't play the shirt, don't play the player, just play the game. 11 v 11, that's the strong message from Graham Arnold as the ball goes out of play for an Australia throw, which Behic, the fullback, will take from this left-hand side. But it's a message that is something that is not just because they're playing Argentina. They've got out of a group, Australia, containing France and Denmark. They finished runners-up to France. And that's the message that's been ingrained in them for so long under Graham Arnold, as Argentina have it on the halfway line.
It's a no-nonsense attitude you do get from a number of Aussie coaches. I mentioned Ange Postecoglou did the same when he was the Aussie manager, and done the same with everyone he's ever sort of worked with before. But there is one thing that's interesting. I mean, we're early into the game, just about 8 minutes. That onslaught hasn't happened yet, has it? So I think the Aussies will be delighted with that they're not being put under massive pressure right away. And the word that you have used so far with the Argentinians is correct. Patience.
Patience required over on the halfway line from Papu Gomez, who does send the ball over the top down the left-hand side as Argentina look to build once more. They send it in field to Rodrigo de Paul, and now out to this right-hand side with Noel Molina. Back in field to Enzo Fernandez. Very tight, or very congested, 0-0. Here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as the ball is played out once more. And the gold shirts of Australia just dropping back a little. But their shape's been good this tournament and have to be good this evening. So far they're closing down the spaces, although nicely turned by McAllister away from Keanu Bacchus, and belatedly the free kick is given.
Yeah, probably was a free kick there, taking it from the wrong place. They'll have to bring it back. The Aussies know this is going to happen. Look, they've played a little bit further up the field, but slowly but surely over the last few minutes they've got further and further and back, more and more players behind the ball.
So defending to do for Australia with Degenek down the right-hand side, and a miss of control from Messi outside the penalty area, and Australia will try and counter. It's well intercepted though by Argentina and picked up by Alexis McAllister. He scored his first goal for his country, the Brighton man, in the last match, and here is Julian Alvarez trying to bring that ball down inside the penalty area, but can't control in front of the Australia fans. And Pat, we're high up in the stands here. I'm not sure I can hear what they're singing, but I think I can guess.
Yeah, no, they were delighted as well, because, you know, even if it goes out for a goal kick, first little bit of meaningful pressure that Argentina have been able to put on them, and it's had no great effect. So that's the calmness. What a help that is if you're in Australia. What a massive help that is. You were expecting, you know, Messi to be going on the ball, players to be running for you from right and left, zipping the ball about. It's not quite happened like that yet, and it's given them time to really calmly get a foothold in the game.
Australia in possession midway through their own half with Harry Suter. Is this start then down to Argentina or down to Australia?
A bit of both. I would say it was actually both of them, because Argentina want to play 100 mile an hour. A lot of teams like to do that. I don't think they like to do that.
Ball down the right-hand side was a very good one for Lecky. Can't bring it under his spell. The Australia man who's been involved in 2 of their 3 goals at this World Cup. 1 goal and 1 assist, the crucial goal against Denmark in their last match. Denmark desperately disappointing the European semi-finalists in this tournament, going out in the group stages. As Messi turns, still inside his own half, but you can hear the appreciation from the Argentina fans around us. 0-0, 11 minutes played as the ball is drifted out to the right-hand side. It won't be kept in by Molina, so let us head back to the studio and bring in Aussie legend Mila Jedinak. Mila.
Yeah, listen, obviously a good start from Australia, keeping Argentina at bay. Would love to see a little bit more pressure just when that ball goes into that middle third, but so far it's been okay.
Australia in possession over on that right-hand side, 0-0 against Argentina. Australia looking to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in their history. They've only reached this stage once before. That was back in 2006 when they lost to Italy. It's Argentina come down the right-hand side, nicely controlled by Alvarez of Manchester City. Gets it back from Rodrigo de Paul, and Alvarez driving through that Aussie midfield, carving through it like a knife through butter. And the golden shirts eventually do manage to get it away with Behic. It will go out for an Argentina throw.
I mentioned Behic before, and it's his first piece of defending he's had to do. It was exceptional. Did a really good job there. We'll be asking a lot more questions as this game goes on, and I've noticed Messi started hanging about out here on this right-hand side, which is kind of where I expected them to start hanging about, because he spotted the weakness in the early part of the Danish game.
Argentina in possession in the centre circle. The winners of this match will face the Netherlands in the quarter-finals. That's after Netherlands beat USA by 3-1 earlier. Tomorrow on 5 Live, do join us for the huge match that is England against Senegal. 7 o'clock our commentary will start coverage, and build-up starts way before that. 6 a.m. on 5 Live breakfast, and before that you can join us for commentary of France against Poland, as well as Australia in possession just outside their own penalty area.
The 2 defenders look really good in the centre-back position, don't they? I mean, we all know that Suter has basically had a cracker of a World Cup so far, and he looks really confident there. Will's beside him. As a duo, they look really, really good, and they're getting good protection right in front of them from Aaron Moy, who he's already put in 4 or 5 very good tackles, timed most of them well, and those Argentinian midfielders and forwards know they're in again.
Argentina in possession as their fans raise the noise once more inside the stadium. You're right, Pat, it is like being in Buenos Aires. This is very much a home match for Argentina. That's what it feels like. But Denmark had to deal with that. Australia, I should say, had to deal with that. Denmark did as well, but we're watching Australia. Australia had to deal with that when they faced Tunisia.
Yeah, I mean, it is really special. I mean, one of the things they say is try and quieten the crowd. Yeah, right. That's easier said than done with this lot. But at the moment, you know, there's not been any real chances. In fact, there's not been a half chance for Argentina. And, you know, look, just as I say that, the Argentinians have decided, let's liven things up a little bit. Start bouncing.
But their side have given the ball away inside their own half, and Matthew Leckie's bringing it down the right for Australia. Good footing though, and Argentina take a tumble on the far side, and I wonder how many more challenges like that the referee is going to allow to accumulate, and the answer is no more. It's a yellow card for Jackson Irvine.
And that's real classic of a referee. So he's seen 4 challenges that he thought might be. Jackson Irvine makes his first challenge. So he gives him a, and he stood in he's trodden in his foot, and many a referee will give a free kick for that. But for Jackson Irvine, he's out the next game, isn't he?
Yeah. Australia have 5 players on a booking previously in the tournament. Jackson Irvine, should they reach that quarter-final against the Netherlands, will be missing for that match. The yellow card's wiped after the quarter-final, so if you get booked to the semi-final, you can't miss the final. That's the thinking behind that. But you can't focus on that now. You've got to play the game in front of you. And Irvine, for this game, is on a yellow card. And that is what he will have to think about primarily, as the ball is played in field by Rodrigo de Paul. Good cross-field pass out to the left by Enzo Fernandez, as Argentina look to test Deganek once more. Deganek stands his ground, and so they go back to Rodrigo de Paul, central position, out to the right-hand side, and Molina receives the ball back and will play it back to Enzo Fernandez. Out now on the right-hand side once more to Rodrigo de Paul, who's just drifted out. They're interchanging positions, Argentina, trying to pull Australia out of their shape, but that's proving easier said than done at the moment. 15 minutes gone 0-0, and Argentina back on halfway.
Yeah, the concentration is so key in situations like this. Argentina know they're going to get more of the ball, and as the game develops here, they'll pass and pass and pass, hoping that someone will switch off. Because of the quality they've got, particularly with Messi, if you switch off and you're half a yard out of position, he will damage you with that. But so far, I don't think they've been a blade of grass out of position with their defending there, the Australian team.
And it's 1 step forward, 2 steps back, 1 step sideways, 1 step forward from Argentina. Knocking it around very comfortably, but not making any headway. What can they do once more down this left-hand side as the shot is ballooned over from the edge of the penalty area? And the answer is not very much at all, as the effort came in from Gomez.
I thought that was a fine. When he's hit it, you get a fine in football if you take a shot and it goes out for a throw-in. It's very close to going out for a throw-in, that, so I think his teammates have been looking at that thinking, you got lucky there, mate. The ball was bobbling. It was absolutely taking a huge chance to have a shot from there, and I'm not surprised it ended up miles away.
Good distribution once again by Suter, but it won't stick to Jackson Irvine, who's just dropping back a little deeper now. The ball is over the top, headed out to the left-hand side by Messi and picked up by Gomez once again. Squeezes the ball to the maestro, the magician, on his 1,000th appearance, and he's looking for the return ball in the area, and there's that 6'6" height of Harry Suter out to the right-hand side, and Deganek will clear away up towards halfway. 0-0 here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as the ball is chested down by Enzo Fernandez.
Disappointed with Messi there. He didn't go for a header with Suter. You know, he's only a foot taller. It's a strange ball to play in, isn't it? Back post to Suter. Expecting Messi to be able to challenge him. But that's the first run that Messi's made, tried to go beyond the defence. He takes his time, and he only makes those runs when he sees there's a gap there. He doesn't make them to drag players out of the way anymore. But you understand that. As I say, any other player, you wouldn't accept it. But because it's him, and you know that when he does get the ball in a dangerous area, he will damage teams.
Australia have won the ball just inside the Argentina half. Here is Riley McGree down the left-hand side, 0-0. As McGree and Behic and Irvine between them work it down to the corner flag. Good ball in by Irvine. Behic trying to muscle his way down to the byline. Ball goes out of play for an Argentina goal kick. But the first chance we've had, Pat, to see Behic getting forward there.
Yeah, we talked about it the other night, and he does get into great positions. When he's there, he looks comfortable, doesn't he? He believes that he can get to the byline. I mean, that's the left full-back, but that's a left full-back that's much more comfortable going forward. And he's a wee bit unlucky there. He was looking for a penalty kick, and no, he wasn't looking for it, he was hoping for it. But I don't think there was enough in that, and he's got back into position. But first decent little bit of play down this left-hand side from the Australians, and it did look quite promising. And
Australia pressing well inside the Argentina half, although backers then missed controls, and Argentina will bring it away. But again, as Argentina have it midway through their own half, we have to praise the single-mindedness of Australia. And what I mean by that is when they go, they all go. That's the thing with the press, isn't it? You have to all go at once. And they haven't done it that much, but they all did it there. They won the ball back. Backers lost it. But again, the team unity, it's not just about spirit, it's about tactics as well. And we've seen that from Australia in this tournament, particularly the second two group games. And so far, here as Argentina look to work it down that left-hand side once more, it's all the way back with Matt Ryan, the former Brighton man. And we have to say, Pat, as Ryan plays it out to the left-hand side, neither goalkeeper has really had a thing to do.
Yeah, you play in chunks of games, particularly if you're the Australians just now. And that first chunk of just about 20 minutes, with a few seconds off that just now, they've not only survived it, but they've held their own. They've not had as much of the ball, nowhere near it, but they're comfortable with that. And anyone who's got dragged out of possession, his mate has covered them time and time again. It's been interesting. They've made a little technical change, and they're bringing Riley McGree mostly to play in the left midfield area. He's doing lots of good covering there, lots of hard work there. He's allowing Jackson Irvine to stay that further forward. The problem with Jackson Irvine, he's supposed to close down. He can't quite do it the same way just now because he's on a yellow card.
Argentina in possession, 0-0. 20 minutes played here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as they work it out to the left-hand side. And Alexis McAllister will pick it up midway through the Australia half. Good foot in by Mitchell Duke. Not mentioned him yet so far, but good defensive work, as it were, on the halfway line by the striker. He was their hero against Tunisia. Both 1-0 wins for Australia against Tunisia and Denmark. The first time at a World Cup that they've won twice in one edition. The first time they've won back-to-back World Cup games. That's it. I mean, we could rattle through stats, honestly, for Australia for about 2 minutes. They are having the tournament of their lives. And when you think of that golden generation of Harry Kewell and Mark Viduka and Tim Cahill that got to the last 16 in 2006, Australia's still in possession just inside their own half. They don't have the big names, the players that are playing right now at the very, very top level in the Premier League, for example. However, they've got a team unity, they've got good tactics, they've got spirit, they've got belief, and they've got a player here in Harry Souttar just inside his own penalty area on the ball. He's having the tournament of his life. Yeah,
sometimes it happens like that. Every tackle he's made, he's made it right just about. Every time header, he's timed it right, and he's been imperious, and you can see him growing confidence. I mean, the way he's passing the ball now, he's got a kind of calm confidence about it. He really, really is loving it at the moment. Those Stoke fans are so happy.
Out to the left-hand side go Australia. Still inside their own half, 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. A reminder that the World Cup Daily is your place for all the debate, reaction and analysis across this World Cup. You can download that on BBC Sounds. Fresh one every morning for you. And of course, through the tournament, we still have you covered on all the wider stories as well. Plenty of content on BBC Sounds and the BBC iPlayer. You can check out the sports desk for a look at some of those wider stories around this tournament. Ahmed Hashim, the Qatari football journalist, one of the guests on that. As Australia come down the right-hand side, and they're just growing into this game.
Yeah, that's the best piece of play so far. They were at the back, they were being closed down. By the way, Australia are not parking the bus. It's not like that. When they get the ball, they play it out, confident from the back, usually from Cash. But they've got 4, 5, 6 players up the field just now. I mean, this is not...
And now suddenly they're going through the gears as Leckie wins the corner off Acuna, and that little sunshine patch down there to our right is cheering because at the opposite end, Australia have a set piece.
Right, without getting too carried away, against Denmark, at this point in time, the Australians should have been about 3 down. Doesn't feel like that this time, but they then grew slowly but surely into the game because they knew how to play it, they knew their foothold, and then they started being braver, slowly but surely, and became the better side. Now that's a big jump, as we say, to get to Argentina, but you can see a little change, can't you? They want to play a wee bit more further forward in the front foot.
So corner for Australia, looking for the breakthrough against Argentina. Moy swings it in, it's powerfully headed away. We'll come back out to Aaron Moy on the right-hand side. 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Moy swings the ball back in. It's over the head of Jackson Irvine and out for an Argentina Goal kick, full time in the rugby. Gloucester, Northampton, Sarah Orchard.
Gloucester 34, Northampton 19. It's a bonus point win for Gloucester, lifts them into the top four, but still with that Bristol-Leicester game to come. And I have to tell you, plenty of atmosphere under the lights at King's Home, Vicky, where the fans in the shed, and they'd certainly give those Argentina fans a run for their money. Full time, Gloucester 34, Northampton 19.
Thanks, Sarah. It's Argentina clear the ball out of play for an Australia throw. Right, Pat, 24 minutes in, let's make no bones about it, Argentina have been poor.
They have been poor, yeah. I will not argue that for a second. There's not one Argentinian player I would say he's having a good game. He's having a right good game, he is. Not one. They're not playing at a good enough pace. It may well be that, you know, they're going to sit back a bit and try and play in the break a wee bit now, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like the Aussies have said, right, OK, break us down. OK, you don't look as if you can break us down. We're not worried about you being physically fitter than us. Yeah, we've had 4 hours more sleep. Sure, that makes that much of a difference. But at this point in time, you're looking at them and it's as if they've lacked a little bit of belief. I think they look to their main man. They look to Messi. And he has been walking so far, hasn't he? Let's be honest about it. You need to be fair. He's been walking so far. He's done the square root of nothing. That's the problem with Messi. He can do that for 80 minutes and then score 2 of the best goals you've ever seen. But when you're playing against that and you know that the teams can't press you, because they can't press you because you have to do that with 11 men or with 10 outfield players, you can't do that with Messi. And that's why you're getting a little bit more belief. Moy getting himself in the ball quite a bit now, playing it comfortably. You know, at the back there, they do feel much, much better, but we know what this game's like. It can change in the blink of an eye.
25 minutes gone, Australia in possession inside their own penalty area. Pat, you're absolutely right, it can, and Messi is a player that can do that, but with every second, with every minute, with every throw they win, with every pass they complete, the belief from Australia, you can just sense it's growing.
I thought you were going to say every breath you take. No, actually, the corners and things like that they get in the free kicks, when they've got the big centre-backs coming up as well, what a difference that's going to make. Suter. I mean, he attacked the first one there, didn't get to it, but every time they get a corner kick or a free kick, you know that every Argentinian fan in here is thinking, oh dear, because they know the power that is at the back.
All over the top from Harry Suter once again is a good one. Jackson Irvine does well just to keep it in with his head and gets it back from Riley McGree down the left-hand side, infield to Behic, approaching the penalty area, running to 3 blue and white shirts. It's rather aimless from Argentina. Big hoof over the halfway line all the way through to Matt Ryan, 0-0.
It was aimless, but it was only about a foot away from Messi. He didn't chase it, did he? He didn't even move. He just kind of looked at it, watched it go over his head.
Behic will bring down that ball that almost went over his head. Just about kept it in there, say the officials. Australia have lost it.
You see where
They've lost the throw as well.
You see where Behic is there again? He's right on the opponent's byline. And that's your left back there. They are growing into the game all over the pitch now, the Australians. And you can see, I didn't see much fear at the start of the game, but any they had is beginning, well, not beginning, it is flowing away at the moment.
And again, they put on the press at the right time. Mitchell Duke goes. It's a miscue from Romero, who skews it straight out of play for an Australia throw. And Graham Arnold, who is just wandering back to his technical area, he will be absolutely delighted with how Australia have managed themselves, have managed the game in these opening 27 minutes. Behic with the throw, 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. But Jackson Irvine wins the corner, and at the moment, Australia are the better team.
Yep, there was that turnaround. It was after about 23 minutes. They played out from the back, and since they played out from the back, they've had just about the ball for the entirety of that next 4 or 5 minutes. They played really well. Got another one of those corners.
And the heights of Suter is up from the back. Mitch Duke's in there as well. As Riley McGree swings the corner in, and the header is won by Australia on the edge of the 6-yard box. Argentina get the second contact and will clear it away. But again, they're causing real problems. Suter there with that 6'6" frame as Australia come forward once again down that right-hand side with Matthew Leckie under pressure down by the corner. Very well dispossessed in the end. And the ball will be brought away by Acuna, who is then fouled by Leckie. And Argentina have the free kick, but warning signs for Argentina that they simply are not heeding.
That's the best chance of the game so far. Best chance of the game. I mean, it's not an easy chance. He's got a header towards the goal in a general area. But he's got very, very high for that, Suter. headed down. He's a good foot above the man who's marking him. Having said that, he's got his hands on his shoulders, which kind of helps, but it just shows you again the belief is coming into it. And you're looking at Argentina and you think, you're going to start soon.
29 minutes gone, 0-0. Well, they certainly started this World Cup campaign very slowly. The shock defeat to Saudi Arabia was really to overstate how much of a shock that was. But were they to come a cropper against Australia in the last 16, Australia, who have never reached the quarterfinals, well, that would be right up there given the context of this tournament. 38th in the world, Australia. 3rd in the world, Argentina, as Mitchell Duke is challenged on the halfway line, and Argentina will come away with the ball, and Acuna, back he goes to Otamendi.
Well, I can tell you why he was annoyed there. That's a two-footed tackle for me. Romero comes in there, he's off the ground, his 2 feet are off the ground, and he wins the ball. It doesn't matter. You're not supposed to go in two-footed there. It's very fortunate not to give away a free kick there.
Argentina coming down the right-hand side. Here is Gomez, plays it in field. Messi, the feet were going, but they couldn't trick their way past that golden wall. And the ball is out of play for an Argentina throw.
You wonder if that's Messi just saying, right, okay, had enough of this. You know, not really creating anything. He's got the ball 2 or 3 times in the last minute or so. He started looking much more dangerous.
Out to the left-hand side, Argentina go, but once again, they look to go back to halfway, and Otamendi, who squares it to Rodrigo de Paul, and now forward to Messi once more. Good footing by Bacchus, and it will fall kindly for Australia. McGree, Duke digs it forward, looking for the run of Leckie. Argentina a little bit stretched here. Australia fire a couple of head tennis efforts, manage to keep possession, and they win the free kick as well. Let's bring in the former Australia captain, Mile Jedinak.
Yeah, listen, obviously Australia growing into the game, but need full concentration, definitely when they turn the possession over.
It's Argentina who have conceded the free kick.
I have to agree with Mel. The concentration is imperative now, because right, you've got yourself in the game there. Your left back's flying down, playing in the left wing. You're beginning to really believe, but you have to watch on the counter. The Argentines are a very, very good side. However, if you're going to go through in a World Cup and you're going to get to the next round of quarter-finals, you've got to take chances. And they're getting plenty of men up for this free kick. It's a very high line from Argentina, isn't it?
It is. It's about 10 yards or so almost outside of that penalty area as the ball is played in by Aaron Moy. It's over the head of everybody and out of play for an Argentina throw. 0-0, 32 minutes gone.
And that's the correct score. You know, I think if anything in the last 5-10 minutes, we agree that Australia are shading it, but they have been very disappointing. The Argentinians take nothing away from the fact they're not getting easy space. Messi's doing everything he possibly can. I think he's waiting for the game to slow down a little bit so that those gaps begin to appear.
Argentina under pressure, just worked the ball out of their penalty area. Bacchus almost intercepted midway through their half, but they will now come down this left-hand side. But again, go in fields, and the momentum of the attack just slows as the gold shirts get back into formation for Australia. 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Gomez has it for Argentina. Up against Riley McGree. They are working so hard, Australia. We say Argentina have been poor, and they have been, but Australia are making it hard for them to earn every inch of space. That's a nice turn there by McAllister, 35 yards out. Ball forward into the penalty area is headed away by Rolls, helped on by Mitchell Duke. Argentina will almost pick it up once more. Good anticipation by Keanu Bacchus, and manages to squeeze the ball up towards halfway, where it is intercepted by Enzo Fernandez, and Argentina will play it out to the right-hand side, but Behic intercepts himself. The Australia left back running into trouble there and just runs out of play, and a little push there from Lionel Messi on Behic. The throw is Argentina's, but Messi there just showing that glimpse of Argentinian frustration, because this half is not going well for them, although it's still 0-0.
Yeah, Messi's kind of thrown out a fist there in his back and then pushed Behic as well. I think Behic should be delighted with that, however he won't be delighted now, because bit excitable there, goes in the back of, is it Gomez? He goes in the back of, gives a free kick away in a dangerous position.
Yep, just by this near corner flag, and you can hear the Argentina fans, they're not responding to the free kick, they're responding to the little push by Messi on Behic, and suddenly Argentina's fans have woken up. Can the players do so?
Yeah, bit of a shame that for Behic, just a little bit too close. If you go too close, put a hand in the back, there's a lot of players that just fall over, and this is a free kick in a very dangerous position. Slightly better than the corner, I would suggest. Do you think Messi may have a shot from here?
Well, Matt Ryan at the moment is organising his defensive line on the edge of the 6-yard box. Needs to stay switched on here. Lionel Messi, 8 yards or so up from the corner flag, just 3 yards in from the touchline as the ball was swung right on top of Ryan. It's cleared away by Australia. Comes back out to Messi on this right-hand side. 0-0 on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Messi plays it in field. This is better from Argentina! And that's what they can do! Lionel Messi finishes off a lovely, intricate move inside the box. And on his 1,000th appearance for club and country, he gives Argentina a barely deserved lead against Australia. It's magic from Messi once again. It's 1-0 Argentina.
About 3 minutes to go. It's as if Messi said, right, I've had enough of this. We got the ball, he went in a couple of dribbles, didn't give by anyone. Then he gets a free kick down in the corner here. It lifts everybody out a little bit. And then his 1-2 from the side there. He passes the ball differently from any other football. He zips it into the middle, keeps on making the run. When it eventually lands at him, it hadn't left his boot. He knew it was in, didn't he? He absolutely knew it was in. It wasn't even a full chance. It wasn't even close to it. The man is, let's just say it one more time, a genius.
789 goals on his 1,000th appearance. He's now just one away from drawing level with Gabriel Batistuta as Argentina's record World Cup goal scorer. And as you say, Pat, from our angle up here, which was a good one, but because it's Messi as well, you knew when that ball left his boot, and Australia, I think, knew as well.
Yeah, it's incredible that he can pick up on the left-hand side. Because he's picking up on the right-hand side with his left foot, he can curl, he can hit it hard. This time he goes through the legs. Now, I'm not sure if he meant to play through the player's legs, but you know, I would not put it past him.
And all Australia's hard work is undone. And Argentina suddenly have that zip, that vigour. It's been sparked once again by the little magician. And would you believe it is his first goal in the World Cup knockout stages. It takes him on to 9 across his career. But like Ronaldo, the previous 8 have come in the group stages as Argentina win a free kick on the halfway line. And that's it for Messi. This is always the story when it comes to the World Cup. What will almost certainly be his last shot at the biggest prize in world football.
Right.
Will it happen for Argentina?
It gets harder and harder as the competition goes on to score goals. And he has scored brilliantly in the group phases, etc. He's now on 3, is it, for the tournament so far? And the feeling always was, and it's the Maradona question, you know, it's going to need him to win this World Cup. It is going to need Messi to win the World Cup. Well, he started. He's doing his job. He's doing what is needed of him to push his team all the way on. Because let's be absolutely honest, nobody else in his team looked like they were going to do there, did they?
Another free kick for Argentina over on the far side, and Degenek is protesting. He's gone into the book, and he is another that would miss the quarter-final were Australia to turn this around against Argentina. But again, Pat, that's secondary to the fact that now Australia's right back is on a yellow.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a shame. That is a slap on the side of the face. It's not deliberate. It's a bit harsh. You know, the Argentinians are going to make the most of every single contact. The only upside for the Australians is they're coming round with right backs. They've got plenty of right backs. They've got another 2 they can pick on that are just as good. So that's one area that I don't think there's too much of concern yet, other than the fact that if he gets sent off.
Yeah, they've had to use him in this tournament as well, as Martinez clears away for Argentina. Nathaniel Atkinson picking up that injury. Frank Karacic has been deployed there. So they do, as Pat says, have options. Degenek now has stayed down inside the Australia half as the ball has gone out of play.
The Australians are complaining and say, yeah, we had one foul. and we get a booking. Acuna, to be honest, I don't think Acuna touched him there. I think he's just fallen in an odd angle, so I don't even think that was a free kick. But they got it, they played on, and Australia, I mean, they had that foothold again, they were playing quite well, they were holding the ball well, and that's the thing we said before with Messi. You can do the square root of nothing for 20 minutes. It only takes a second to go score a goal, and he just turned it on for 2 or 3 minutes, and that's been enough.
Ball forward by Australia is read well by Acuna over on that left-hand side, and he'll clear up towards halfway as Graham Arnold stands, hands on hips, on the corner of that dotted technical area. He played against Diego Maradona as a player for Australia, Graham Arnold. He now has to find a way as a manager to deal with the magic of Messi. And it's Messi, no surprise, who's given Argentina this 1-0 lead on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as we approach the final 5 minutes plus added time at the end of this first half. Australia with the throw on the far side midway through their own half.
I'd say that's the first time in 20 minutes that the Argentinians are close fairly high up the field. They just don't do it, they don't want to do it, they don't feel as if they're capable of doing it in this game against the Aussies. But for the Aussies, trying to keep their mentality right now, a goal down, they need to find something from somewhere, and they have got a movable stadium around them just now because it's bouncing.
You can hear the sounds, you can hear the enjoyment. The Argentina fans are loving this. It is a stadium, the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium, as Argentina play the ball over halfway, that Australia have fond memories of. This is where they beat Peru in the playoff final to reach the World Cup, but they're trailing here by a 0-0 to Argentina and to Lionel Messi. It's Argentina spread it out to the left-hand side. Once again, we'll work it back to the centre circle where Tottenham's Christian Romero will, at walking pace, bring the ball forward. Ball played forward now to Papu Gomez, out to the right-hand side, and Molina he goes, and Rodrigo de Paul orchestrates things in that centre for Argentina. Will play it to Enzo Fernandez, and out to the left-hand side they go once more with Acuna. Here is Alexis McAllister at Brighton, and Argentina very happy, very comfortable, and much happier and much more comfortable now they've got the 1-goal advantage.
Yeah, it's one of those games where you play the style that Argentina have played. Until they score a goal, you say, well, you're not doing well, you're not holding the ball well. When you score a goal, you think, right, you're controlling it now. Because that's now what they're doing. Messi's got a little bit of a hit there. He's rolled over 3 or 4 times. It's about a 50-50 challenge for me.
Yeah, Harry Suter it was, going in. Argentina have played the ball out because Messi is down, holding that boot. And
the referee didn't give it. Yeah, he didn't give it.
No, he said there was nothing wrong with that. He has gone over now, the Polish referee, Szymon Marciniak. And Lionel Messi just raising a hand and saying, well, could have done with a bit of help there. And he is caught on the top of the boot, accidentally by Suter.
But nothing you can do about that. If you're a defender and you kick the ball, play through the ball, you can't stop your foot from them following through. And it just caught Messi on the shin pad. And if he's wearing shin pads, then it's probably saved him.
But he's up to his feet. Argentina's goal scorer, as he so often is. And that is why they have this slender lead, as Otamendi sends it all the way back to Emi Martinez. Australia closing down again. Once again, they're hunting impacts as they play around them, Argentina. Papu Gomez, though, well pressured by Behic, and Duke will now try and close down. Helps up towards the halfway line. Rolls wins the header for Australia, and Suter will send it out to the right-hand side, and Degenek all the way back to Matt Ryan. Argentina lead 1-0.
Just wonder sometimes with Messi's legs, does it take 20 minutes at his age to warm up a bit? And they started moving a little bit more now. He was walking beforehand. He wasn't 20 minutes walking around, seeing what the game looked like. There are players that can do that.
Good header by Jackson Irvine, little 1-2 with Mitchell Duke. And Australia have it just inside their own half. Aaron Moyes sends it out to the right-hand side. Degenek in an advanced position, almost took his eye off the ball there. Has been dispossessed well. Backer's coming across to try and help out and does get a foot on it, but it's calmly played away by Otamendi. And Argentina will work it very calmly between that back line and pick it up outside their own penalty area with Enzo Fernandez. I think what you were saying earlier, Pat, about Messi providing that magic spark, and Argentina, of course, having him at the heart of everything. But they have had the goals coming from elsewhere. Yes, he's scored 3. It would have been 4 had he not missed the penalty against Poland, but we've seen Alexis McAllister get his first goal. Julian Alvarez as well, lovely piece of skill from Enzo Fernandez. They have managed to find the goals and the good pieces of play as well from elsewhere, although obviously Messi so often integral to those moves.
The good thing is they've got a little bit of backup as well, and remember they've not got Angel Di Maria on the pitch just now, and they have got a little bit of backup, and that's why a lot of people, you know, are seeing them as a real challenger for this competition. But let's be fair, for half an hour it looked nothing like that. They were so slow, it seemed a bit dull, there wasn't a great deal of imagination, but then Messi decided he'd had enough.
And they have slowed it down again, but you can understand why when they have the 1-goal advantage. But as Behic lets that go out, as we tick into the final minute of normal time, they've got to take warning, surely, from what happened against Saudi Arabia, because they were 1-0 up at half-time. They had so many chances, 3 goals ruled out for offside. They certainly haven't had that against Australia, but they know from bitter experience in this tournament that no matter if a side is much lower ranked than you, no matter if you've been all over them, which they haven't against Australia, you're not safe.
Well, nobody's safe at the moment. Just a huge number of teams that think they've got the game, the points in the bag. Uruguay last night thought they were cruising away. Now, they didn't lose their game, but they went out because they didn't score enough. So, you know, nothing can be taken for granted. However, if Argentina did get a second goal at any point, that would be the proverbial mountain, I think.
We're into 2 minutes of added time at the end of this first half. Messi's goal gives Argentina this slender lead. Australia have looked most dangerous from set pieces, but they're pinned in their own half at the moment. Jackson Irvine not able to work it forward, but they do win the throw off Rodrigo de Paul. But Irvine, he's been impressive so far, hasn't he? He's linked the play well. His vision, his ability to hold the ball up under pressure and actually start very open counter-attacks has been impressive for Australia so far, as they have it just outside their own penalty area.
He's actually changed positions a wee bit. He's trying to move a little bit further to the left. I'm trying to see if Australia, they've almost gone to 3-4-3 at the moment. I think they might have adapted, because you can see Jackson Irvine's coming a little bit further over to the left, whereas he was playing one of 2 strikers, so we should keep an eye on that just now.
Yeah, Riley McGree's drifted a little more centrally, so a little bit of interchanging from Australia here, with Irvine out on the left-hand side. Won't be kept in by Behic, and the ball goes out of play for an Argentina throw.
Yeah, just asking questions. Well done. You know, don't be fearful. You know, if you're playing against Argentina, you're playing against them, it doesn't matter. You have to go and win a game of football. So if your tactics aren't winning, you aren't creating anything, and they haven't really created much apart from getting those corner kicks, maybe you have to adapt it a little bit and ask a different question, and they're starting to do that now in the last few minutes.
They're hunting as a pack again, Australia. Every time they've done that, they've done it about 5 times in this match, it's worked. This time again, they haven't been able to hold on to the ball. But that is paying off, and they can't do it every single time, as Lecky won't quite bring the ball down inside the penalty area, and Argentina will clear away. And there is the half-time whistle. Well, again, promise there for Australia, but the key man has got the key goal, Lionel Messi. The slender advantage for Argentina at the break on his 1,000th appearance for club and country. Of course, it was going to be him. It was another classic moment of Messi magic. Lovely low finish into the corner. Beautiful footwork inside the penalty area. And Argentina, although they have not been at their best, and that's an understatement, lead Australia in the last 16 by 1-0 at half-time.
Vicky Sparks and Pat Nevin, thank you very much for now. Second half commentary to come, of course, with Argentina having that slender advantage at the break. We're joined by Australia captain Mile Jedinak and South American football expert Tim Vickery. Tim, Lionel Messi and Argentina, and bear with me here, remind me of a crocodile. They sit there looking like they're just basking in the sun, but really they've got their eye open and they're aware of their prey all around them, and when the time is right, they pounce.
What are you going to do with a lunatic like that on the field? Like the referee blew his whistle, and for a while you thought, yeah, this game's going to be good when it starts, wasn't it? Which was full credit to Australia. I love the way that they don't defend too deep, and they play as a unit, and when they could, they got up the field as a unit without creating too much. And you looked at the Argentina side without Di Maria. It's all passing in front of Australia. It looks so slow, and as my old man would have said, the team looked like it needed a collective stick of dynamite up where the sun don't shine. And one moment it's the only time that they've moved the ball quickly close to the Australia goal, and it divides the teams. And even the shot from Messi, he makes football just look so ridiculously easy, doesn't he? It's almost as if that left foot, he's just picked it up with his hand and placed it beyond the goalkeeper into the far corner. Sometimes you watch this man play and they pass him a brick and he builds a house with it. So he's the difference, and I'm very intrigued to see what Australia are going to do about this in the second half.
And that's what's going to be fascinating to see, Mile, because Australia, as Tim was saying, as Pat and Vicky have been saying in commentary, and you said as you joined them, Australia have done so well in containing this Argentina side until a moment of Messi magic. What do they do now? Because the temptation is they're going to have to come out and give Argentina a bit more space that they were denying them.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you're spot on. Obviously, conceding the goal in the manner we did, more so than the man who scored it. We know all the ability and what he's got at his feet, but I just think the incident beforehand when Beach and him have a little tussle, but Aziz doesn't really hold his head. It's a lapse in concentration and a rash decision which allows Argentina in. Do they change their approach? They'll take heart from the first half because of the way that they built into the game, and Argentina didn't have too many chances. Listen, I know Argentina's probably played a little bit within themselves, and rightly so, but Australia's got to take heart from that, and ultimately now they do have to go and pick their opportunities and do it more frequently in this second half.
It has been a difficult goal to take for Australia, but on that moment beforehand, Tim, do you think Messi's used that tussle on the touchline to just kind of fire him up?
Perhaps. I'm absorbing at the moment your crocodile comparison, and that they used him for a lot of the game.
You can
right
rate
up front.
it out of 10 if you like.
I'll
take a low score.
Gomez playing one side and Alvarez playing the other side, and Messi, if he doesn't like the look of the ball that's played up, he just shrugs his shoulders. He's not going to do a lot. He's certainly not going to press. He's not going to put the Australian centre backs under pressure as they look to play the ball out. So that's Messi with the hooded eye half closed, but he's always looking for his opportunity. And the worry now for Australia is space will open up, won't it? And firstly because of tiredness, it always does, and secondly because of the circumstances of the game, they've got to chase it. So Argentina, I would imagine at half time, will be saying, come on, let's put this one to bed. Let's not give them a chance in the game. So I'd imagine that Argentina will come out second half looking either to retain the ball as much as possible and run the legs off Australia, or if they draw Australia forward, exploit that space to launch some counters, get into space between the defence and the midfield, and try and have some fun there. And the true test of a team always, isn't it, is when you go a goal down. And the only time that Australia have been in that situation, chasing the game, was against France, when admittedly against unbelievable French talent, they took a shellacking. So Argentina will be thinking, well, France gave them a shellacking. Let's see if we can do the same.
Tim Vickery and Mile Jedinak with us. We'll be back for the second half and we'll try and make it snappy. On social media, Dan said, had to be Messi. Scores with the first real chance. Give him that space and he will punish you. Paul says, Messi's first goal in a World Cup knockout game in the 1000th match of his career, written in the stars. And Stuart says, imagine having those Argentinian fans behind you. Absolutely phenomenal, as they have been throughout this competition. We will be back for the second half after the BBC News with Carl Hartley.
Take the World Cup with you. Qatar 2022.
On BBC Sounds, this is BBC Radio 5 Live.
Messages of support are being sent to Pelé after a Brazilian newspaper reported the football legend is being given end-of-life care. The 82-year-old was admitted to hospital earlier this week. The latest unconfirmed reports say he's no longer responding to chemotherapy. A supporter has died after becoming ill at a National League game between Bromley and Yeovil. The game was stopped after 6 minutes to allow the fan who was in the home section to receive treatment. The match was eventually abandoned around 50 minutes later. The father of a 4-year-old girl who's on a ventilator in hospital with strep A is urging parents to get children checked out if they're concerned. Dean Burns' daughter, Camilla, is fighting for her life at Alder Hey Children's Hospital in Liverpool after contracting the illness. Since September, 6 children in Britain have died after picking up the infection. Kent County Council is trying to find several dozen child migrants who were in their care that have gone missing. New figures show 39 out of 197 unaccompanied Albanian children have disappeared since arriving in small boats this year. And Tory MP Conor Burns has been cleared of misconduct and readmitted to the Conservative Party. He was sacked as Trade Minister in October following a complaint he behaved inappropriately at the Tory conference.
The World Cup on BBC Sounds.
With coverage of every single game on 5 Live.
Oh, what an amazing goal! Kylian Mbappe!
Expert analysis and debate with some of the biggest names in football on the World Cup Daily podcast.
What Gareth Southgate wants is that they can perform under the most intense pressure they will ever experience.
And a bit of fun in Match of the Day Top 10 with Gary Lineker.
Micah Richards is back along with Alan Shearer and myself for the biggest international football tournament on the planet.
Take the World Cup with you. Listen on BBC Sounds.
This is the World Cup Daily with Kelly Cates.
Back for the second half at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, where Argentina lead Australia by a 1-0. It'll get underway in 10 minutes time or so as Lionel Messi has scored his first goal in the knockout stages of the World Cup. He goes past Maradona's tally for the World Cup for Argentina, and in fact the song that you can hear the Argentina fans singing all around the ground, they've been extremely vocal throughout this competition, is about the land of Diego and Lionel. They talk about the history of their side and how Diego Maradona is watching on, and he will have watched as Lionel Messi goes past his World Cup total. Second half of that one coming up very shortly. England against Senegal is live on 5 Live tomorrow. The best build-up guests and analysis will be right here. There is a lot of noise around Phil Foden and whether or not he'll start after he played so well against Wales and scored. He's been speaking to Kelly Summers about his so far bit part role at the World Cup.
Obviously disappointed not to start more games, but you know, it's a part of the tournament. I'm a team player, so just want to keep working hard, and when I get the opportunities, I'm just going to try and take them.
Going into Tuesday's game, there was a lot of talk about you. People were desperate to see you start in an England shirt. How aware were you of all of that noise, and what did you make of it? Yeah, obviously I've seen a lot of media attention towards me to start. It's hard to get away from that. But you know, like I said, me being me, I just like to keep my head down, and when I get the opportunity, try and not to overthink things, just play how I normally play and play my football. Does the manager talk to you during periods like that? Was he telling you are going to get this opportunity? Was it kind of part of a wider plan from him, do you think? Yeah, he said to all the attackers that we're all going to get our chance, and I think we've all played now. So yeah, we just have to be ready. Whoever starts, you know, the bench is just as strong and ready to change the game. Did you speak to Jack Grealish about it at all? Because a year or so ago at the Euros, everyone was desperate to see Jack Grealish, and it feels like this year you're the player that everyone wants to see. I think it happens. Yeah, like I said, he got like the Euros, and we just have to keep our feet on the ground and just keep working hard, and when we get the opportunity we have to take it, and that's all it is really. Did it give you added motivation on Tuesday? It did, but a little bit more pressure as well at the same time, so yeah. As a player, do you like that pressure? I do like it, yeah. They're the games you want to play in when, you know, everyone's talking about you and everyone's watching. You want to prove people wrong and prove people right at the same times, so yeah. I guess you've also had to be patient. Is that something that you've kind of had to get used to, or you've trained yourself to get used to, given how your manager at your club likes to operate, because you do get rotated quite a bit at Manchester City too? Yeah, I'm used to that at my club, you know, getting rotated a lot, and you know, I didn't come here thinking I'm just going to walk into the team. I know how good the players are, and there's a lot of quality, so you know, I knew in training I'd have to show my quality and work hard, and
and that's just what I try and do, really, just try my best all the time.
What would you say your best position is?
I don't even know. Everywhere. I mean, like, probably anywhere on the wings or a number 10 role, for sure. Any of them three.
There's a lot of players like yourself in terms of players that can play out wide, can play in that number 10 role as well. 8 of England's 9 goals so far have been scored by players that can play out wide. How do you assess the competition in that area of the pitch?
I mean, there's a lot. Saka did well the first game scoring. Rashford did well when he came on, he scored as well, and obviously did very well against Wales. Like I said, everyone's scored and everyone's proved the point, so it's going to be a headache for Gareth to pick the team for the next game.
That was an interview with Kelly Summers talking to Phil Foden there about England's potential team selection for their game against Senegal, which you can hear commentary of on 5 Live Sports. 7 o'clock kickoff for that one in their last 16 match. I'm just slightly distracted because we've had the halftime entertainment. There's going to be musical interludes throughout the rest of this competition. This time it was Republica, the lead singer from Republica, singing Ready to Go, but she was only on her own on the touchline, standing with a microphone, trying to get the crowd going, but most of them have gone off for half-time snacks. But an excellent performance. She sounded in fine voice here inside the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium. Mile Jedinak is with us. We'll be getting his thoughts on this after the game as well, with Australia trailing Argentina by a 1-0. In the WSL, league leaders Chelsea maintained their impressive run. They beat bottom side Leicester 8-0. Elsewhere, Manchester United scored 5 without reply against Aston Villa, and Arsenal beat Everton 1-0 to keep up the place in the title race. In the Championship, Sunderland won 3-0 at home to Millwall to move them to within a point of the top 6. Late wickets gave England the edge on day 3 of the opening test against Pakistan in Rawalpindi. The host closed on 499 for 7, trailing England by 158 runs. Pakistan had 3 centurions today, but 4 wickets in the final session have opened the door for England. In rugby union, London Irish moved off the bottom of the Premiership with a 39-17 win over Newcastle Falcons. And after unconfirmed reports from Brazil have said that he is now beginning end-of-life care after not responding to chemotherapy, former German international Jurgen Klinsmann and former Argentina international Pablo Zabaleta have given to Pelé their messages of support.
Very sad news to hear about Pelé. He's been a true inspiration for all of us, on and off the pitch. He's always been a great man, and what I would thought with him tonight and with his family.
For me, he's the greatest footballer ever. I mean, what he's done, he won 3 World Cups, he put Brazil on his map as a nation in football that we admire. We all, in certain ways, fans of Brazilian football. He's the face for that. He's the face for Brazil. So we just wish him to get better as quickly as possible.
Some messages of support for Pelé, but they are unconfirmed reports that he is now beginning end-of-life care. Meanwhile, here at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium, the players are in the tunnel ready to come out for the second half. Australia trailing Argentina by a Lionel Messi 0-0. Mile Jedinak is with us. Mile, in terms of what Australia's approach was in the first half, it pretty much worked. Is it more of the same in the second, or do they need to just be a little more front foot in their approach?
Listen, I think it will be a little bit more of the same. Again, you want to stop this initial first 15-20 minutes, keep them quiet, keep them starved of opportunities in terms of the final third stuff. But then there has to be a point where the trigger gets pulled and they start to commit bodies forward a little bit more on the front foot. A little bit to what was alluded in the commentary, when they decided to go in those moments, they won the ball back and they won it back quite comfortably. So it might be about just upping that a little bit and looking to those opportunities to present themselves.
Mile, thank you very much for now. Mile Jedinak will be joining us at full time in this game, and you can watch the match live on BBC television along with the 5 Live commentary. Just search for World Cup Extra on the BBC iPlayer. And taking you through the second half, Pat Nevin and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Kelly. So Argentina get us underway, leading by that Lionel Messi 0-0. No changes made by either side at half-time, so Argentina playing from right to left in the blue and white striped shirts, the black shorts and the black socks. Australia in the golden shirts, the green shorts and the white socks. And Australia putting on the pressure immediately. Matthew Leckie challenging Marcus Acuna. and the ball goes out for an Argentina throw deep in Argentina territory. And it's a really fascinating one, isn't it, Pat, in terms of the tactical battle. I was at South Korea-Portugal yesterday, when for all the world South Korea looked like there was no way they were going to get the victory they needed in the second half, but they had a game plan, they stayed tight, they kept their shape, they knew they just needed one chance, they made the change and brought Hwang Hee-chan of Wolves on, and in the end they got that one chance and they got the winner. But they didn't change their approach because they knew they needed to keep Portugal at bay as well, because there was no point in going gung-ho and losing the draw that they had at that point that they needed to build into a win. As Argentina come forward through the centre, miscue out to the left-hand side will be collected by Acuna, sends it back into the into the Argentina half. But that's it. If Graham Arnold, he's got a plan. He'll have expected, I'm sure, to go 1-0 down at some point. Well, certainly would have had a plan for how to respond.
Well, it won't shock him, you know, and it's one of the things you have to take into account. You could go a goal down, and specifically the goal from a specific person go that goal down. What I would like to do is I'd like to get the strengths of his team. You know, Duke is a good goal scorer. He's got lots of pace, and he's good in the air. Haven't been able to use him much yet. We know that Matthew Leck is good in the ball. We know that he's quick as a wide player. Oh, a wee chance there.
Yes, Martinez charged down inside his own area. Argentina do manage to squeeze the ball out to the left-hand side, and they've won the throw as well. But it's that press that Mili Jedinat was just touching on there. They all went at the same time. It paid off, and Argentina lucky to get away with that.
It's so easy to say, well, why don't you keep on high pressing? It's exhausting to do it all the time, and if you get passed through, you basically leave big gaps behind you. You don't want to do that. But I think Australia know that's the best chance they've got of getting back in the ball and then winning either a goal, making a chance, or else getting a free kick back up in that area. But to some degree, I don't think the Argentinians mind it too much, because when they break the press, there's gaps.
Here they come down the right-hand side. Argentina, the runners in the centre. Defending to do at the back for Behic for Australia, who keeps the shape well of that Australian back line. So Argentina go all the way back to their goal scorer, their record goal scorer, their goal scorer tonight on his 1,000th appearance for club and country. He's on the ball once more, 25 yards out, central position, works it to the left-hand side, and Acuna, Argentina leading by a goal to nil. 3 minutes gone in the second half on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Here is Alexis McAllister of Brighton, plays it back to Otamendi, and he'll go all the way back to Christian Romero as the Argentina fans raise the noise once more inside the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium. Out to the right-hand side, Argentina go. And Australia keeping their positions, as they have done well throughout this game. Just undone by the skill of Lionel Messi in that key moment, just passing the ball into the bottom corner. He makes it look oh so easy 10 minutes before the break, and that is why Argentina had the goal advantage. Poor ball though, out on the right-hand side, won't be kept in, and Argentina, 4 minutes into this game, 4 minutes into the second half I should say, are making a substitution, and it is Lisandro Martinez who is coming on, and Alejandro Gomez who is coming off. So interesting one this, unusual to see a change made inside the first 4 minutes. And I have to say, I didn't see Gomez necessarily pick up a problem, but he's walking around the edge of the pitch. Interesting one that for
It's very unusual, and more often than not, it's a player who thinks he might have a little bit of a niggle, and he said to the manager, look, let me give it a go for a few minutes, and then makes a motion to say, no, I'm not right. But to just tactically bring someone off after 3 minutes of second half, I mean, how much can you do wrong in 3 minutes?
And let's see what this means for Argentina's formation as well, as Lionel Messi plays the ball down the right-hand side, and Argentina getting the blue and white shirts into the penalty area. The ball is pulled across, will fall on the edge of the box to Messi, who drives the shot in, takes a little nick on the way through and bounces into the arms of Matt Ryan.
Is that Messi trying to go for a ball through the legs again? Because he's actually hit the legs of the player there, but he was slightly slipping when he actually got hold of the ball there, so he just didn't actually catch it perfectly well. But Messi's beginning to find spaces now. As you say, he walks about for long periods, but he's taken in the game. He may well know that he can't run forever, but what he's doing, he's saying, right, okay, where's the space developing? And a very, very few players at the very top level understand the game organically, and he does.
Here come Australia down the right-hand side. Mitchell Duke just slips at the key moment, and the ball is out of play. The ball is over with Australia on the left-hand side.
Yeah, do you know what's a really strange thing? Just looking at, we're talking to John Southall at half-time there, and he spotted the pitch looks a little bit rough-looking. And he's right, it does, doesn't it? But the players are beginning to slip a lot as well. And, the pitches are always soaked. But I'm not sure they've all got the right studs on just now, and that might make a difference for the defenders.
So Australia in possession. Leckie muscled out of it though. Backers trying to do the same to McAllister. And Argentina win the free kick on halfway. Just looking at the way that they've reshuffled, it looks as though Argentina have gone to a back three here, and that would make sense with Lisandro Martinez, Manchester United coming on. Of course, is a defender, Alejandro Gomez, playing further forward. So a tactical switch 4 minutes in. Interesting.
Do you know what surprises me though? That's fine if the opposition have made a tactical switch that you didn't see coming. No, they haven't. They're almost exactly the same, the way the Australians are lining up against them. So again, yeah, they've made the tactical switch, but it's hard to see why.
Good defending by Degenek at the back for Australia, cleared away by Matt Ryan. Didn't quite get the height on it though, and Argentina will bring it down with Enzo Fernandez. Ball slid forward, good anticipation by Harry Souttar, just stepping up out of his penalty area. And the ball is out with Ryan McGree on the left-hand side. Argentina will pick it up once more though. Here is Alexis McAllister out to Acuna on the left, and he will go back to halfway. I think the other question is, what have you seen in the 4 minutes of the second half from Lionel Scaloni, the Argentina manager, that means you employ that change 4 minutes in rather than at half-time? Oh, short back pass here, and Mitchell Duke almost in for Australia. Argentina out of nowhere, once again playing themselves into real trouble inside their own penalty area. Emi Martinez comes out, clears away for a throw. They're giving Australia hope here, Pat.
We have chances, and you know what they're like? The Australians can catch pigeons. They're chasing absolutely everything. They've got a long throw now.
Long throw by Degenek into the penalty area. Acuna should clear away, and in the end, very cleverly, just leaves that ball to go out of play for Argentina goal kick. They lead 1-0.
To your point before about if you go in the back three, people often think, well, that's a little bit more negative. You're giving yourself a bit more cover. Sometimes it's actually we want to get our wing backs fired up the pitch. That's what we know. We can cause a little bit of danger there. We can see a weakness in the opposition side if we play wing backs and stretch the game a little bit. So it could be that. At the moment, it's not clear why they've done it, because it's not made any massive difference to the game, except that you've got a little bit of slack at the back and playing some very poor back passes.
Inadvertent handball over on the far side by Riley McGree, and Argentina will have a free kick just to the right of their penalty area, leading by a goal to nil. So Argentina now with Emi Martinez in goal, the back three of Romero, Martinez, Lisandro Martinez and Otamendi, your wing backs on Molina and Acuna. Ahead of them you have McAllister, Fernandez and De Paul, Messi, Alvarez. Messi sitting just behind Alvarez up front, so it is an interesting one for Argentina. Australia, as Australia win the free kick over on the far side. So Ryan in goal, the back four of Degenek, Souttar, Rolls and Behic. Ahead of them it's Leckie, Moy, Bacchus and McGree, with Irvine and Mitchell Duke up front. But as we said in the first half, Jackson Irvine's been everywhere, and at the moment it's Matthew Leckie he's pushing up in that too, and Riley McGree and Jackson Irvine and Matthew Leckie just interchanging a little bit, all taking turns to go up alongside Mitchell Duke. He doesn't have much to work with. Can Argentina work this down the left-hand side? Here is Alexis McAllister of Brighton, plays it back to the halfway line, and Nicolas Otamendi who will square it to Tottenham's Christian Romero.
Just having a look to see what they're thinking about doing. Are they going to change it at all, the Australians? Because at the moment they're not creating anything themselves really. And if you look at the stats, I believe it is so far shots on target, Argentina 1, Australia 0.
And Argentina trying to get in behind here. Messi was chasing, headed away by Ryan outside his penalty area. And those shots on target are also the scoreline. 1-0, Lionel Messi's goal. 10 minutes before the break.
Maybe tells you something about the game. I don't know if you ever game of football when you've got tens of thousands of people jumping about and screaming and singing all the way through it. And then you look at the stats and you think, well, you know, they could do with lifting it a lot about actually on the pitch. To be honest, I wouldn't put it much against the Australians. I think they're putting every bit of work in they've got, but the extra bit of sophistication you need at this level, they've not really shown it yet, have they?
So Lisandro Martinez out to Christian Romero, just inside the Argentina half, leading by a goal to nil as Enzo Fernandez plays it forward, laid off by Alvarez of Manchester City. Out to the right-hand side, Argentina go once more. Alvarez will lift it out to the right once again. Look for the return pass. It's well intercepted at the back by Rolls for Australia. But Argentina will come again, put in by Bacchus, dispossessing McAllister, and Ryan is out very quickly to pick that up. A few half shouts, claiming for a back pass, but that was never going to happen. And Australia in possession. Argentina's turned to press inside their own penalty area, and Ryan's taking a real risk here, and Alvarez will score the second. Australia completely masters of their own downfall, and Julian Alvarez of Manchester City helps Argentina take another step towards the quarterfinals and a match-up with the Netherlands. And Australia, all they can do is shake their heads and look at each other. It's a shocking mistake by Ryan. It's Argentina 2, Australia 0.
Do you know that's been coming a little bit? Ryan, good goalkeeper in many ways, he's not comfortable with the ball at his feet. And if you're not comfortable with the ball at your feet at this level, you will eventually get found out. He had 3 or 4 passes, and I was kind of going, well, wait a minute, you don't look that comfortable. You don't look that comfortable to me. But this time, going, he had 2 players around him, 2 players around him. You can't really do that. You cannot do that. That was massively poor to be caught on that. They just wanted to make 2 changes there, and they just had a little bit of a chance here to get back into the game by changing the system, and he's kind of killed it for them. It's just that moment of, it's a bit daft really. If you haven't got the skills, launch it, and he hasn't got the skills there.
Well, the irony is, as well, as Australia get us underway, that Emi Martinez has almost done that twice for Argentina inside his own penalty area. But Matt Ryan there was trying to take on 2 Argentina players with a bit of fancy footwork inside his own penalty area. It was never going to end well. It's ended very badly for Australia, and Argentina now have the 2-goal advantage. The double change for Australia. Their key playmaker, Aiden Frostic, is on, as is Craig Goodwin. Bacchus and McGree are off, but it's Argentina coming forward. That's a lovely ball by Acuna through the legs of Frostic, who's recently back from injury. The Hellas Verona man won the Europa League with Eintracht Frankfurt last season. Really impressed with them, but they've missed him at times in this tournament, although again they were so impressive against Tunisia and Denmark that they didn't really need him. But he is on. He did come on as substitute in both of those games, and now he needs to try and help Australia score 2 goals. Otherwise, their World Cup journey, only the 2nd time, remember, that they've reached this stage of the competition. They're hoping to get to the last 8 for the first time ever. But 2-0 Argentina, it's a long way back now as Frostic wins the throw deep in Argentina territory.
And in a way, they didn't have to do anything. It wasn't even a massively impressive high press. He had time with the ball. He had, had options ahead of him. If you've not got the skill to get the ball down and play it out of a dangerous situation, and it's, I love to see the ball played at the back from goalkeepers, but you can tell when certain goalkeepers have the ability on the ball, and Matty didn't seem to have it.
Foul by Leckie for Australia, and it will be a free kick to Argentina. Enzo Fernandez going down, and again the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium is bouncing because Argentina lead by 2-0. A reminder, you can watch this match on the BBC iPlayer if you want to sync it up with our commentary. Just search for World Cup Extra on BBC iPlayer as Argentina work it out to the right-hand side, leading by 2-0. Well, it has been a World Cup of firsts for Australia. The first time they've scored in every group game. The first time they've won back-to-back games at a World Cup. The first time they've won 2 games at a single edition of a World Cup. But they need something very special now, as the ball is played out to the right-hand side by Matt Ryan. And Australia under a bit of pressure by Acuna. Argentina's turn to put the press on, and they charge it down with McAllister. It goes behind for an Australia goal kick. Let's bring in the former Australia captain, Mila Jedinak. And Mila, it's hard to see them coming back from this now, Australia.
Yeah, they need a reaction. Obviously disappointing to concede the second goal. Just need a reaction, remain concentrated and try and play on the front foot a little more.
So Matt Ryan plays the ball out to the right-hand side. He's just got to get that moment out of his head, hasn't he, Pat?
Yeah, I suspect he won't be playing out from the back too often if he's got players near him from now on to the end of the game, because it's hard enough in this game without giving balls away, and it's upsetting. I mean, hey, everyone makes mistakes. But they're trying everything. They've moved the team, really shifted the team around a little bit just now. Jackson Irvine has gone a little bit further back, almost playing as the deepest of the midfield. But it means you get more players going forward, and at least they've got a chance here. Got a free kick, chance to put a ball in.
Yeah, Craig Goodwin, who's just come on for Australia, has been brought down on the far side. Australia have the free kick. They're asking whether it should perhaps be a yellow card as well. Christian Romero with the challenge.
There's a trailing leg there, because he's when tackled, or tried to tackle, missed by Miles, his right foot. The trailing left leg, and the best of them, and I mean that, i.e. the worst of them, know how to do that. They leave that trailing leg in there so they wipe you out, said the embittered winger, former winger.
So 17 minutes gone in this second half. Australia trail Argentina by 2 goals to 0, but they have a set piece, and this is where they've looked most dangerous. Other than Manemi Martinez has been taking chances inside his own penalty area. Set piece perhaps the best route for them to get on the score sheet as the ball is swung in. Hooks back across. It's good play by Leckie, because it wasn't the best delivery. And Australia have it with Hrustic halfway through the Argentina half. Here now is Aaron Moy. Out to the left-hand side he goes. Ball back across, cleared away from the corner of his own 6-yard box by Alessandro Martinez, and will be brought down by Rodrigo de Paul.
He's got the reaction he wanted, hasn't he, Mila? He's asking to lift the pace a little bit, chase down, have a go, because this is it now. If you don't get a next goal, the World Cup's finished if you're Australia.
Here come Argentina, and here goes Lionel Messi. It's only on the halfway line, but they still love the skill. He just, when he gets going like that, he just glides past players with such ease. We've seen it down the years, and he's still got it, Pat.
Yeah, it's very, very comfortable. It's much, much better when you do it in the final third, because it's much, much harder there. But it is the pure artistry when he gets in that position.
Here is Alexis McAllister as Argentina play it back to Messi inside the centre circle. Messi, who scored the opener 10 minutes before the break on his 1,000th appearance for club and country. Julian Alvarez of Manchester City getting the second after a real howler by the Australia goalkeeper and captain Matt Ryan. But Australia have won the ball back. Now they've lost the ball, and it will be played forward to the halfway line. And here goes Messi once again, and Christian Romero, his teammate, just lifts his hands up and says, go on, you keep going. And he's got past 3 players, Messi, 4 Australia players. Alvarez back to Messi into the penalty area. This would be brilliant, and it's brilliantly stopped by Degenek. Oh, what a wonderful run from Messi. That was the magician at his best. And the Argentina fans are lauding their hero.
Yeah, bowing and low obeisance. Do you know what? I hope he's not offended, but it would have been Maradona-esque. He would have done that. It was brilliant. He got the ball on the halfway line, and they were just falling around his feet all over the place. He was bumping off them, using that to push himself forward. That was an absolute moment of genius. Actually worth coming here just for that moment, wasn't it?
Argentina take the corner shorts as Messi pulls it back. The delivery swung in. Header at the far post is met by Argentina, and Otamendi but cleared away up over the halfway line as the ball bounces by Australia. Argentina will pick it up and send it all the way back to Emi Martinez. It's one of those, and of course, Australia will be delighted that Degenek got the foot in. They still will be desperate to get back into this game, and that belief they'll try and drum up once again. But it's one of those, as a neutral, purely from a footballing perspective, it would have been one of the great World Cup goals.
It would have been it, and if you look back at all the World Cups over the years and look back all the way to 58 when Pelé scored that goal against Sweden, it would have been one of the ones that would have been remembered.
Cunha's ball in, oh what a chance. Racing through the centre, Argentina can't make contact. McAllister will pick it up on the right-hand side. What a delivery that was from Marcus Acuna. And Australia suddenly becoming stretched. Here is Messi, drives on the edge of the D. And the ball is over the bar. But Argentina really starting to hit their stride here.
And you can see Messi coming alive now because he knows that space that he has been waiting for. Walking about, looking around, swiveling his head, saying, when's it going to happen? It's happened. And he can have a ball now because there are giant gaps. Now, it's not just because the Australian players are getting a little bit tired and I'm playing closer together. It's because they have to take chances, and that's playing right into Argentina's hands. And of course, no one more so than Lionel Messi, who's just picking up the spaces.
Here are Australia on the halfway line. 2-0 Argentina lead, approaching the midway point of the second half here on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Australia get the decision on this wide right position. It will be a free kick. Graham Arnold there, hands clasped behind his back, just straying out of his technical area. Well, they have enjoyed a wonderful, wonderful World Cup, Australia. Can they find 2 goals to level against an Argentina side who are starting to click here at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium?
Just need one to start with. Just need one to start with. That'll change everything. The atmosphere within their players and with their, albeit smaller number of fans, would change everything if they could get 1 goal.
Set piece again, free kick wide right, Goodwin sends it in and it's straight into the arms of Emi Martinez.
Yeah, it's a couple that, the last couple they've put in there, and they haven't been good enough balls at all. I mean, really, that's far too easy. That's far too much height on it. Goalkeeper at 6 yards. Of course it's going to walk up and take that. No, not very good.
Just seen a shot of Angel Di Maria, who's not involved today. He was listed on the team sheet, but wasn't warming up, wasn't taking any part in that at all, so won't be involved today. Just singing along with the Argentina fans sitting down there on the bench, banging a water bottle on the side of the dugout in time to the music. It's all going very nicely for Argentina, and we have to say, if you're just joining us on 5 Live, as Argentina win a throw inside their own half, the first 35 minutes, Australia, for much of that period, were the better side, and the goal came against the run of play when it did. But we always knew, and you always know, that when Messi's on the pitch, that can happen.
Yeah, and they talked about it beforehand, and you knew that was a possibility. They had to stay concentrated, and it was only a tiny little turning off of concentration. It was in the left back area, like I suggested before the game. That was going to happen, and it was a real shame that, because Messi knew that, and that's why he lingered there and lingered there and lingered there, and they got the chance eventually, and it's made a big difference to the game. But it's not over yet. I mean, keep on going, but the quality of ball when you get a corner, when you get a chance to cross, has to be much better for the Aussies.
Argentina in possession, midway through their own half. Lisandro Martinez sends the ball forward. Acuna, who's really pushing forward more in this wing-back role, gets forward, but he's adjudged to have committed the foul, and it will be a free kick to Australia. Just outside their own penalty area.
Just looking at the way the Australians are playing again. When they played before, they actually changed it to a back 5 with wing backs in the previous game at one point. And I thought it looked a lot better. I thought the wing backs were becoming their strongest players, and against, we're talking about the left foot back Behic. When he gets the ball in an attacking position, he looks so much better. He's not got forward at all in the second half, has he?
Matthew heads the ball on. Mitchell Duke is chasing down, but can't get there. And Argentina will bring the ball away with Acuna, who just turns under pressure from Prostic. Lecky gets the foot in and then roars his frustration to the darkening sky in Doha, because the ball is out of play. And Graham Arnold is preparing to make another change.
A whole bunch of changes coming in. We're going to get a couple from Argentina as well. Do they want to do that in this moment in time? I mean, I think they want to kill as much time as possible. They want to see this game out. There's only 20 minutes to go. And if they manage this game well, they'll have, remember, it's the first one, so they'll have a bit of a rest They would like an extra 20 minutes rest.
Well, Frostic is standing right next to Marcos Acuna here. He's not too happy with her. Acuna's taking the throw, but the referee just tells him to move away. He does so, and we play on. Ball goes out of play for another Argentina throw. And they are, as Pat says, going to make a double change, Argentina. Will they make it now? The referee is giving them the option. Yes, he's pointing. Argentina is saying, well, is this what we're doing? Are we going to make it now? And the referee has said, yes, you are. And big applause for Julian Alvarez, the Manchester City man. He scored the second goal that puts Argentina 2-0 up, and firmly with 1 foot, given the control they have of this game as well in the quarterfinals.
Alvarez and Acuna coming off. I actually thought Acuna looked a little bit leggy from about 20 minutes into the first half, so I'm not completely surprised that he's gone off. And Tagliafico coming on, maybe is no surprise at all there, you know. That's a very much a light for light in that situation.
And here come the Australia changes. So yes, Acuna and Alvarez off for Argentina. We've already had one Martinez on. We have Lautaro Martinez of Inter Milan on, and as Pat says, Tagliafico. And Australia changing things up as well. The triple change. Goran Kuol, Jamie McLaren, Frank Karacic on for Deganek Duke, who really has worked hard up front but has had very little service, and Leckie making way.
And I just hope, I think the Australians will be hoping that, you know, those fresh legs will make some sort of a difference. It's not looked a great deal like it so far. You know, they've huffed and puffed. I don't think you can say much more than that. They've huffed and puffed in the second half, and you know, if you look back in a game and say we never took our chances when they came, there haven't been any.
And here come Argentina once more, looking to wrap this up once and for all. Australia deal with the ball through the middle and play it out to just outside their own penalty area. 2-0 Argentina lead, 17 minutes plus added time to play. Well, their youngsters did it at the Olympics last summer under Graham Arnold. They beat Argentina's under-23s in what was a huge shock, even at that level. But they trailed 2-0 Australia. And they need something very special. It would go down in Australian sporting folklore were they to reach the quarterfinals for the first time in their history from this position. All into the area from Jackson Irvine is claimed by Emi Martinez, who claims that so easily, under no pressure, and then goes down in stages, doesn't he? To his knees, to the floor, holds the ball, gets back up to his knees, standing back up now. The second's ticking away. Argentina leading 2-0.
You're not surprised that they're managing the game well. Heart and mouth for a wee moment there. I felt Ryan was coming back out to get the ball. He thought better of it. He managed to pick the ball all the way to about 2 yards from the corner flag. And the referee's saying, no, you've kicked for touch there, and that's about as good a kick for touch you'll ever see in any code of football, rugby or association.
So it's out of play for an Australia throw. They do clear it up towards the halfway line. Sent forward by Otamendi, picked up by Goodwin from Australia. It's cleared long downfield, and it will get the deflection off the blue and white shirt as well. And Australia have the throw, but as is so often the case, Pat, with 5 substitutions made at that point, 3 for Australia, 2 for Argentina, the rhythm just going out of the game, and Argentina won't mind that a jot. They're 2-0 up. They're heading through to the quarterfinals in a match-up with the Netherlands, who beat the USA by 3-1, unless in the final 15 minutes Australia can provide some more late drama, and we're never going to write that off at this World Cup as advantage is played. Ball into the area, pulled across goal by the substitute Nicolas Tagliafico, and behind for an Australia goal kick.
My heart was slightly in my mouth there. I think was that Jackson Irvine. He made another tackle in the middle of the pitch there. He's already on a yellow card, and I think the referee's been quite nice to him there. He is on his absolute last warning there, isn't he? Just slightly late, takes him on the foot, but then his knee follows through, goes flying over the top. And Jackson Irvine very, very lucky. He's got to tiptoe through the rest of this game now.
And that's a worse challenge than the initial yellow cards was as well. It is something that, whether it should or shouldn't be, is in the referee's mind on occasion that a player's already been booked. But if he gets a yellow for the first one, then certainly should get a yellow, second yellow for the second one. As the ball goes out of play for an Australia throw into the final 14 minutes. 2 balls on the pitch, the referee spotted it, and again it just ekes the seconds out for Argentina. But since that Lionel Messi goal, and yes, Australia were masters of their own downfall, the error from Matt Ryan allowing Alvarez to get what looks like it could be the key second. But Argentina have looked comfortable, they've looked in control, and they've looked more like the side that are third in the world, with Australia 38th. But Australia are coming forward. Argentina get the deflection in. Oh, deflection takes it into the goal! Craig Goodwin on the follow-up from 20 yards. A cruel deflection for Argentina. The ball's in the back of the net, and hold your horses. Is this World Cup going to give us yet another remarkable twist? Australia back in it. 2-1, Argentina lead.
Do you know, anything can happen, because as a previous game, Serbia 3-1 up, and you thought no chance, this game's all over. Suddenly, one little thing changes, a little bit of belief. Players know this is the one chance possibly in their lifetime, and then suddenly go, wow. Just a few moments ago, I kept on saying, BH, get yourself up the field there. If he could play wing back, he was the reason. He goes flying up there, beats the player, puts a dangerous cross in. When it comes out, yeah, they get a bit of luck. You just want to see that happen a little bit more often from the Australians. Oh, I think Mealy will be getting a bit excited at this point in time.
Well. Hold on to your hats. 13 minutes plus added time to play. Are Australia going to provide the latest shock, the latest story at a World Cup that's been absolutely jam-packed with them? Argentina now, having been stunned by Saudi Arabia, remember, already in this competition, suddenly have to find a little bit of urgency once again, or a little bit of composure, which they've shown. They've shown throughout this match since Lionel Messi put them ahead. They have to find that again. They have to draw on it, and they have to close down as they did there. Aaron Moy dispossessed. Just the one goal in it now as Argentina come forward once again with Rodrigo de Paul. Plays it to Messi, who was looking for Tagliafico. It's intercepted by Australia, who come down the right-hand side. They're still inside their own half, Australia. Good recovery by Tagliafico, who gets round Trostic and plays it infield to McAllister. And here is Lionel Messi. Lays it off to Rodrigo de Paul, 30 yards out. Thought about having a go. Messi might. Edge of the D now, central position. Tagliafico is found on the left-hand side of the penalty area, and Argentina will just slow the play down, looking to pick their way through. Messi up against Sousa, plays it to Tagliafico. Good sliding challenge on the edge of the D, and it's cleared away. The flag is up as the challenge came in on the edge of the 6-yard box. That was a nervy one for Australia, because it was one of those, it was bouncing everywhere. It could easily have hit a hand in there, but the flag is up on the far side, and Australia have the free kick inside their own penalty area. It's the Australia fans that are trying to raise the noise in that little patch of sunshine amidst the blue and white down to our right. But Argentina, all around the rest of this stadium, are responding in kind, trying to see their side over the line. 2-1 as further changes are made for Argentina. Gonzalo Montiel is coming on.
Changing the whole right-hand side, because I think we'll bring Palacios on for McAllister as well.
Yeah, Molina off, McAllister off, Palacios on, Montiel on, as Argentina look to respond to that Australia goal that has made this very interesting once again at this World Cup on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. 11 minutes to play plus added time. Just the goal in it now as the ball is sent forward by Karacic. Qual can't bring it down. It's cleared away by Christian Romero. Will be picked up by Behic on that left-hand side. Nice little 1-2, driving down. Behic once again into the penalty area. Oh, this is brilliant. Can he go all the way, Behic? Brilliant sliding interception interception, sends it behind from Lisandro Martinez. Well, I'll tell you what, if that's Messi at the other end, and it almost was earlier in this second half, that, Pat Nevin, you said it earlier, Maradona-esque once again.
Yeah, no, but please can you get this guy BH to play in the left wing? What have you got on the left back for? Complete and utter waste having him there. He's the best player they've got going forward. They're stuck him at left back. He almost scored one of the best goals I've ever seen in the World Cup there.
Corner for Australia. It's cleared away by Argentina. Frostich will curl. That's not too far away from angle of post and bar. It's behind for an Argentina goal kick. That was unbelievable from Behic.
It's unbelievable because every time he gets the ball going forward, go on about him all the time. He's not great as a defender. He's utterly brilliant going forward. Completely wasted back there. Good defending, it has to be said at the last moment. But he just keeps on going. By the way, can Milas talk anymore?
Well, let's bring him in, former Australian captain Mila Jedinak. Goodness me, Behic, what a run. What an almost goal.
Yeah, talk just about. Thanks for having me in. Game on. It's game on. You know, what a great opportunity.
Can Australia take it? They trail by 2-1 to Argentina. We're into the final 8 minutes plus added time, but there is renewed life, renewed belief in that Australia midfield. They want the free kick on halfway. They'll get it as well. Prostich fouled.
They're fearless now. Just that heart they've got. All right, okay, we don't care what you're wearing. Don't care about those blue and white strips. We're just going to go and tackle everything. We're going to chase everything. We're going to give every bit of heart. This is what we were talking about before the game for the Australians. The one thing you're not going to worry about is give everything they've got. And for these last 8 minutes, unless they lose a goal, they are going to try and pound that defence.
Ball forward into the penalty area. Emi Martinez will claim it, and again he dives to the ground. And Pat's got his head in his hands next to me. I mean, you've got to expect it, haven't you?
Yeah, you've got to expect it, but goalkeepers are well, close your ears now. I'd give a foul against that now. It's like, get the ball standing up, then fall down. Really? I know everyone does it, but when did it become a thing?
It's not the best clearance in the end from Emi Martinez. He took all the time he could over it, but it's gone straight out of play for a throw, which Karicic will take. Or Karicic's got some distance on that, and Matt Ryan just scampering across the 6-yard box to pick it up for Australia, who trail 2-1, 7 minutes plus added time to play. Garang Kuol wins the header and concedes the foul as well. Well, he went flying in there, Kuol. You can tell they're up for it, Australia, but the more free kicks they give away, of course he's got a challenge for that ball, but coming into the back of Christian Romero there.
Well, Romero's holding his face as if he's been battered in the face. It's actually his cheek down lower than his chin. I think my money's in, he's going to be fine. It was a rough, strong tackle, but he's going to kill every second he possibly can. And you've got to applaud the Australians, because they weren't thinking that way, were they? The Argentinians, a few minutes ago, they were so comfortable with where they were. Now they're going to try and play every little trick to slow it down because they're worried.
So Romero belatedly is up to his feet. Argentina 2, Australia 1. That good win effort, which took a huge deflection off Enzo Fernandez, and it has officially in the stadium been credited as an Enzo Fernandez own goal. Australia won't care a jot. Goodwin got the effort in. It was a huge deflection. Left Martinez with no chance, but you need a bit of luck sometimes. Australia got that. They'll argue they made it. But Argentina looking to wrap this one up as the flag goes up against Messi. Ryan got there anyway. And Australia will have a free kick outside their own penalty area. 6 minutes plus added time to play on 5 Live and BBC Sounds. Argentina 2, Australia 1.
They've not created a huge bunch of chances, the Australians. The thing is, they haven't played with this intensity for a little while in the game, so it may well be that they will get 1 or 2 more.
Krosic runs right into Enzo Fernandez, who's off over the halfway line for Argentina, and it will just start to open up here as Lautaro Martinez picks it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area, runs straight into Harry Suter, and had a rather plaintive look at our referee, Szymon Marciniak, who said absolutely nothing doing there. And Garang Kuol will pick it up for Australia. The man who is joining Newcastle in January on the youngster to try and help Australia haul themselves level. They have 5 minutes plus added time to do it.
Now they have to push right up. There's a throw in here. It's only about 3 or 4 yards from the byline, Argentina. This is a great opportunity. Get up there, close down, get as many yellow jerseys as you can get in that area and try and win the ball back high up the field. This is what you hate to have, a throw in late on in a game.
So throw for Argentina deep inside their own territory. They lead by 2-1. As Lautaro Martinez will pick the ball up and Australia concede the free kick, and he's turning away, Harry Souttar, but I think I can sense the grimace from here because it just ticks the seconds down. But again, credit to Australia. It was fortunate in terms of the goal they got back with a huge deflection.
They've just done that twice in a row. They stole 15 yards from the throw and they just stole 10 yards from the free kick as well. The referee hasn't seen it.
Here they come down the right-hand side, Argentina. Another goal would surely spell curtains for Australia. Just the one in it at the moment as we enter the final 3 minutes plus added time. Argentina still keeping hold of the ball over on that right-hand side. That's all they need to do. Rodrigo de Paul, nice 1-2, plays it in field. Aaron Moy gets a foot in. It's given away though by Jackson Irvine, and here come Argentina once again. Messi, who got things underway in the first half, out to the left-hand side, and Tagliafico as well pressured by Karacic, but squeezes it out to Enzo Fernandez. And now Rodrigo de Paul down the right-hand side. Behic stands up well. Romero stepped up from centre-half for Argentina, who just bring the ball back to halfway. Enzo Fernandez, a little change of pace, moves into the gaps, played forward now by Palacios. Now Messi, as Argentina suddenly send the blue and white shirts forward, and Martinez pulls the ball right across the face of goal. Lautaro Martinez into the area but can't do the damage.
Yeah, but that was one of the best pieces of play from Argentina in this game so far. Under a little bit of pressure, they do the right thing. They manage the game, they hold the ball, they pass it, they don't try anything silly, and then when they see the little gap and the Australians get a little bit tired there, they almost get through and almost score. That was a really, really good piece of play by the Argentinians.
They're replaying Messi's goal again and again on the big screens around the stadium. But Australia know that if they can find a goal in the final 2 minutes plus added time, we'll be heading for extra time. 2-1 they trail. Will they get a final chance, or will Argentina wrap it up? He's off again. Lionel Messi towards the penalty area, still going. Messi lays it off, and Lautaro Martinez has missed a sitter. Tried to curl it into the top corner, as Messi did into the bottom corner in the first half, and it's behind, and Australia have got us moving already.
Do you know what? If that hasn't bobbled, that's a stinker of a miss there. That's everything you want. It's laid out on a plate by Messi. All he has to do is whip it in towards the back corner. He has skied it.
Will it cost Argentina? Australia still struggling to make headway towards that Argentina penalty area, but the goal that they've got back really came from nothing. So they will believe. That little patch of sunshine behind the Argentina goal will believe.
They've got a long throw here. He's going to take it in. He's got the big man up.
Yep, Karacic throwing it in. Souttar is up there, heads it on, won't quite fall for Jamie McLaren. And Emi Martinez claims very well under pressure from Souttar, and in the end there was too much pressure from Souttar, who is now surrounded by Argentina players, and the referee's got in the middle of that very quickly. Frustration for Harry Souttar. Free kick for Argentina, and Emi Martinez has still stayed down.
Really? That surprises you? You know, it's a shame there, it wouldn't quite come down. Martinez has gone up there, he's gone down like the proverbial sack of spuds. He's not moved for about a minute there. There is the square root of nothing wrong with him, and we all know that very well. But you can't blame them, you know, it's what everyone does. They have managed it well, haven't they? They've generally very, very few chances against them in the second half, and the goal that the Argentinians have actually lost, you know, a complete deflection, so they can turn around and say, you know, we weren't put under that much pressure, but they are a bit worried, aren't they? They want to know how many minutes. We're going to find out in seconds.
And the board has come up. 7 minutes of added time. 7 minutes for Australia. to find an equaliser, otherwise their bid to reach the quarterfinals of the World Cup for the first time in their history will be over. Tagliafico for Argentina, down to Lautaro Martinez. Tried a bit of skill to work his way towards the penalty area. It's cleared away by Australia, and the throw goes their way as well, all the way back to Kai Rolls inside the Australia penalty area. We have seen late drama at this World Cup already, plenty of it. Is there to be more at the Ahmed bin Ali Stadium, the ground upon which Australia beats the favourites Peru in the playoff to reach this World Cup? Is their journey ending here this evening, or is there to be one more twist, one more turn in this tale? Argentina have the throw on the far side. Their fans are enjoying this.
Just the ball's being talked to by the referee. He's wasted about a minute there. No one's going to overtake the throw-in. The referee's got the angry face on, but it's having no effect whatsoever. Again, it's good. The one we're looking at, it's very good game management. They're killing it for the Australians. You just want to get, a little bit of a head of steam up, but they're not being allowed to do it, are they?
Montiel's throw, looking for Lautaro Martinez inside the penalty area, cleared away by Australia, sent back in, and very calmly done all the way through to Matt Ryan, who launches it long over the halfway line. Suter is up there playing as a centre half now.
Forward.
Playing as a centre forward now, the Stoke man. Needs must. They need a goal, Australia. Caution to the wind time from Graham Arnold and his men. The ball's gone out of play though for an Argentina throw. And he's barking instructions, Graham Arnold. 2 minutes of added time have been played. Argentina 2, Australia 1 on 5 live on BBC Sounds.
There's the chance now. Messi see the ball ahead of him on the right.
Yeah, here he comes through to Lautaro Martinez. Good save by Matt Ryan. Will spin out for Argentina on the right-hand side there. Out of the penalty area though, and the gold shirts are getting back for Australia, and Argentina will just slow it down and play it to Enzo Fernandez, who whips it out to the right-hand side where it's well controlled by Montiel. So once more, Argentina come forward. Aaron Moy gets a foot in, forward to Jackson Irvine. He manages to squeeze it through to Jamie McLaren. Suter, playing as a centre forward, doesn't win the header on halfway. And Argentina keep it in on the right-hand side. Here is Messi, off he goes again, taking on Aaron Moy. Almost getting past him, right-hand side of the penalty area now is Messi. Goes for the curler, and it wasn't too far away.
Oh, he's ridiculous. See, in the last few minutes when it's got tight, he's just created 2 utterly clear-cut chances for his mates. Had they made it for him, it'd have been a goal, right? 100%, he'd have scored it. This time he thought, I'm not doing that, I'm going to try and do it myself. He has come mighty close again.
Cleared away by Otamendi, under pressure from Suter on the edge of his own penalty area. 3 of the minimum 7 minutes have been played. Australia really stretched at the back now because they have to throw the golden shirts forward. And Argentina coming down the right once more with Messi. Rodrigo de Paul back to Messi once more, and the two of them just slow the play down. And this is agonising for Australia. They need to win possession, but they haven't been able to do so. And Argentina are looking to wrap this up. It's in towards Lautaro Martinez, cleared away. Shot driven in on the follow-up, blocked again by Australia. There are tired legs out there now. Lovely skill by Enzo Fernandez, almost dispossessed by Hrustic. Played through into the penalty area once more for Argentina. Again, the block is made, this time by Rolls on Messi, but they still come. Lautaro Martinez again, and the deflection saved by Ryan, and the follow-up is dragged wide. It came to Messi quickly, but he's pulled it wide, and it's a deflection there. At the other end, it cost Argentina and gave Australia a goal. That time, Ryan adjusted brilliantly in his own penalty area. Otherwise, that was 3-1 Argentina, through to the quarterfinals, definitely.
Do you know the last 5 minutes? Argentina have played like a team that could win the World Cup. Just the last 5 minutes. Other than that, they've been, good periods and poor at other periods. The last 5, maybe even 10 minutes, when Messi's decided to turn it on, they have been fabulous.
Here come Australia though. Karacic's ball into the area, looking for Suter. Cleared away by Otamendi. Australia try and come again with Behic. Brave defending at the back by Argentina. Aaron Moy gets the foot in. The ball goes out of play for an Argentina throw. Just on Aaron Moy, he's not had the influence that we saw him have, particularly against Tunisia, but also against Denmark.
Yeah, but part of his job is to kill the space that Messi was getting into. And he kind of sacrificed himself for a lot of the game, just killing that space. And we didn't hear a lot from Messi. Moy is now pushed a little bit further forward. and as soon as he's left that position, Messi's having a party. And yes, you don't know whether to stick or twist in that situation, but you just got to take a chance and hope that Messi doesn't score or create a goal, and you get one more chance. They're running out of time though.
90 seconds of added time left to play. The Argentina fans are starting the party inside the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium, and every clearance, every header is cheered now as they send it up towards halfway. Argentina. Behich misses it for Australia. Long hoof forward. Ryan's out of his penalty area, but there's no blue and white shirt anywhere near him. They just want to hold out now, Argentina. They know they are almost through to the last 8 to face the Netherlands. Suter stood up there playing as a centre forward. Comes out to Karacic, lifts it high into the penalty area. Hooked back in by Australia. McLaren's in there, heads it on. It will bounce for Argentina. Quol was in there for Australia. Can't get a touch on it, but it will come out to Australia on this right-hand side. Good ball. Krustic down to the byline, digs out the cross. Nobody's there at the far post. It's headed away by Montiel for Argentina. Australia pick it up once more into the final minute of added time. Ball in, Otamendi clears, and Messi picks it up. Moy gets a foot in to stop the Argentina counter, and Goodwin will come again. Might let fly again. Instead, it's into the area. Lovely touch by Garang Quol, and it's saved by Emi Martinez. That was a brilliant piece of play by the teenager, and Martinez is collapsed upon by his teammates, because that, right at the end of this match, was a huge save from the Aston Villa and Argentina #1.
You know, it is a brilliant save, but also the fact that he's come out, he's killed all the space there. There's no angle he had. That's not a bad miss. That's a great save, and that's great goalkeeping. Just when he needed to do the right thing, he did the right thing. I didn't know if they were going to get another chance. They did, and they couldn't take it.
Was that it? We've played the 7 minimum added minutes. Flag is up as Argentina race towards the penalty area, and the game is up for Australia. The players sink to their knees. It's been a fabulous tournament for them, but it ends in the round of 16, and Argentina are through to the quarterfinals. Messi's dream is still alive. They've beaten Australia by 2-1.
I mean, the game actually did get better and better as it went on, as many of these games have when players get tired and a little bit of space opens up. We saw some of the brilliant glimpses of Messi being his magical self. There was the goal, but there was other moments in the last 10 or 15 minutes. It's as if he sits and waits and waits and waits, and when the chance comes to get a little bit of space, he uses it so fantastically well. He was the difference, wasn't he? More than anyone else, he was the difference. There's something we don't always go on about Romero and Otamendi. Otamendi was magnificent again at the end of that game. Every single ball in the air, he was giving Suter no chances at all. But you got to be proud. If you're Australian, be proud tonight. They fought, they battled, they chased, and they frightened the life out of Argentina near the end, particularly in the last 20 seconds. But they just couldn't do enough.
So it's not to be late drama, it's not to be another late twist and turn. But as Pat says, that chance for Garang Quol, fine margins. Very good save by Emi Martinez. But it's Messi's night once again. It's Argentina's night once again. They're through to the quarterfinals, where they will face the Netherlands. It finishes Argentina 2, Australia 1.
And inside the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium, the Argentina fans sing, "I'm Argentine, it's a feeling." The feeling they will have felt at the end of that game was nervous, as Australia had the best of chances to equal this and take it into extra time. But Argentina are through. Pat, an exhausting game to watch at the end, and you just wonder what this has taken out of those players.
Yeah, well, they were asked a lot of questions. They tried to manage the game, the Argentinians, and they did for periods of it. And, you know, things that really impressed me about Argentina was other things maybe less so. That last 10 or 15 minutes, they stick in your mind a little bit because it was the last 10 or 15. And Messi was brilliant, and the chances they made were phenomenal. And they should have scored 2 or 3, maybe even 4 goals in that period. And it maybe tells you something. They're managing that game. They're managing the tournament. They're maybe growing into it. But there are weaknesses there, and everyone else would have spotted the weaknesses. I do feel sorry for the Australians, massively sorry for them. They put every effort in but they needed a wee bit more quality, didn't they?
And they are very flat in the centre circle as they shuffle around, just chatting to each other and grabbing hold of each other. Meanwhile, Argentina players are down at the far end in front of their most fervent supporters. The Boca Juniors, the River Plate Ultras are united inside that group. They're standing together towards the left of the goal. And the Argentina players, the Argentina fans are as one as they sing one of their most famous songs to each other. The fans are singing it to the players are singing it back to them. They are bouncing. Those Argentina fans have been fantastic throughout this tournament, and they have cause for celebration this evening, because not only have they won the game, not only are they through to the quarterfinals, they will have seen flashes of a team that, as Pat said in commentary, are able to win the World Cup. There are problems though in there. There are weaknesses that can be exploited, and that show of emotion at the end is as much relief as anything, Pat.
Yeah, but you see all the other countries are getting closer now, and they're organised, they're fit, and they've got a lot of belief. There's a lack of fear, a real lack of fear from everyone. You know, Brazil think they can go and send out a second team and win. No, you can't. You can go and play against Australia and think, well, they used to be minnows. Well, no, they're not. They will go and push it, and even if they're 2-0 down, they will still keep on fighting and pushing. Now, the better team won in the day. They were the better team, and you're not taking anything away from them, but you need to keep on going for it. And the weakness that I see is the fact that I don't know if they can keep on going for 90 minutes. And that might come back to haunt the Argentinians. And the problem in the past has been not enough strength and depth when other teams, be it the French, be it, you know, dare I say it, the Brazilians themselves, maybe even England, have got real strength and depth in every single position. And that might actually come home to haunt Argentina. But at the moment, they don't care. If they keep Messi fit, they don't care about the other 10 most of the time.
1,000 games for Lionel Messi. He scored, he opened the scoring for Argentina. He's smiling at the side of the pitch, more a smile of relief. And just a couple of minutes before, he puffed out his cheeks and just blew a sigh of relief, because he knows that Argentina had a let-off at the end of that game. They go through though 2-1. They're in the quarterfinals. Will react to their victory over Australia, and will react to the game in which the Netherlands beat the USA by 3-1, which sets them up for a quarter-final against Argentina, as the Argentina players go again in terms of the celebrations. They've moved on to a different section of the Argentina fans. We'll be back here at the Ahmed Ben Ali Stadium after the BBC News with Carl Hartley.